Lance, first game of the season ends 4-2 to us against Kirkley Pakefield. Can I
Yep.
get your first reactions on the game?
Yeah, I'm obviously delighted with the result. Delighted with 4 goals at home. Obviously, the crowd will go home happy because of that. I thought the first half, I thought we were the better side in general. Kirkley were very direct, very aggressive, very physical. And to go in 1-0 at half time, I think was a fair result of the first half as such. And I think that you have to give them credit in the second half. They had to go for 20 minutes, and under that, in that time, we were under cosh, but we dealt with it. Popey had to make a couple of good saves. We defended resolutely. You've got to remember we're quite a young side, not a physical side either. So for them to do that for 20 minutes and then us obviously score on the counter attack against the run of play, with Ben at the back stick to make it 2-0, kind of calmed the nerves a little bit, I thought. And then obviously they get one back at 2-1. Obviously a bit nerve jangling. Then to go after Max has scored at one end, his first ever goal for the club is in his own net, unfortunately. But then within 5 minutes, he goes and scores a lovely header from a great ball from Mason. And it's a proper footballing goal. And I think that's then to obviously go, 4-1. You think you're comfortable, and then give another. I wouldn't say sloppy goal. It's a good finish, to be fair. So I think if you over the piece, I think we looked very good in the transition, looked very good on the front foot. In the last third, we looked dangerous with the pace we have. And I think there was two kind of contrasts of styles of play today, and I think that thankfully the football shone through.
How much of this win can you attribute to the successful pre-season?
Yeah, I think you've got to give credit to the youngsters. Obviously, I've always said this: when you have pre-season players, unavailability, etc., some of the youngsters get more of a go. But certainly people like Ben Toffs, Hayden Lambert, these young players that have grown, if you like, through pre-season because they've had more minutes and they feel part of it. Gabriel Moffat today. These sort of players. You think, would they have been in your side last year? Yes, they've been in around it, but all of a sudden they now feel they're part of it because of the pre-season. So I think it's massively important that, and they've earned that right, and they've shown that again today.
Few players playing out of position in regards to where they played last season. Alfie Connor at centre half,
Yep.
and Mason Newman playing centre forwards,
Yep.
just to name two.
Yep.
How do you think they did, and are you happy with the way that the squad played today?
I mean, I'm delighted in terms of how Mason leads the front line. Obviously, he has played there before. It's not alien to him. And then likewise with Alfie at centre half, he has played there also. But he wants to play midfield. But you can see that they're two of the older heads in the squad, and they just get on with it. Alfie has, like I said, played there before in his younger days, and Mason is a threat anyway. So, even I wouldn't say they're completely out of position as such because they've done it before, but it just shows their true professionalism. And the way they've led the side today. It's two of the senior lads, along with Josh Pope in goal, who made 2-3 important saves at the right times.
Lewis Jackman was awarded man of the match today. Can I get a word on his performance?
Yeah, Jacko's Jacko, and he's box to box, his energy, he's erratic at times, he knows that, but then he can show some parts of brilliance on the pitch, and his goal probably came off a body part that he wouldn't want to use normally, but his energy, it drives the team. We all know that. And when you've got people like Hayden Lambert alongside him, it's just that's why we were so pleased to keep hold of him, obviously making club captain for those reasons, and he leads by example, and I'm delighted that he got his goal today.
We'll look to continue the good start to the season at Lakenheath on Tuesday. Can I get a word on that game from you?
Yeah, it'll be a tough game. Obviously, they've recruited quite well. I think obviously how the league finished last year, it'll be false for them this year. Third bottom, I don't believe they'll be there in that position this year. It'll be a tough game, but obviously we've got off to a great start today. So because it's so early in the season, obviously we played Lakenheath 2 or 3 times last year, so we know what kind of formation they'll try and play. So we'll just have to go there and give it our best, and hopefully that whatever we set up on Tuesday night, we get some positive result.
Finally, is there any other squad changes you can tell us about?
Well, we've got 1 or 2 kind of in the pipeline. It's always the same manager would say that, where you've asked the question, they've said yes, but then where they're at right now, they're still holding on to the hope that they will get into that, say, step 4 club or step 3 club. So we're trying hard. That's one thing I would say to all the fans. Me and Sam have made so many phone calls to try and bring players in, and it's clear that we do need 1 or 2 experienced players in amongst that young, energetic group. And if we can do that, then hopefully we can have a good season.